Today we are going to be talking about 5 people who changed drastically after My 600 Pound Life. Do you want to win the new iPhone 11 Pro? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right back into the video. Number 5. Sean Milliken. Sean seemed like he was moving in the right direction after a rocky start to his weight loss journey.
Alright, the scale said over the limit, so this scale goes only to 800 pounds.
After initially weighing in at nearly 900 pounds and being mostly immobile.
I miss being able to get up, move, go places. It's been 8 years since I went out in public.
Sean was finally able to turn things around and get weight loss surgery. That, in turn, helped him drop hundreds of pounds and regain his ability to walk.
You may be the heaviest person alive right now. This is not a good place to be.
According to his follow-up episode of My 600 Pound Life, Where Are They Now?, it was evident that he had been putting in the work. But in 2018, tragedy struck, and Sean's mother passed away from renal failure.
If I fall, it would be near impossible for people to pick me up.
According to a follow-up video released by TLC, understandably, he was devastated as he and his mother were extremely close. Additionally, since she was his supporter, he had to move out of his Houston apartment.
Milliken's mother once told My 600 Pound Life that her son needed to be, quote, taken care of from head to toe.
He was clearly thrust into a very difficult situation in more ways than one. In another sorrowful turn of events, Sean himself passed away in the hospital from complications from an infection in February of 2019.
I'm a prisoner. All I want is out. And I never really thought my life would end up like this.
He was having problems with his breathing, his father wrote on Facebook. They were able to resuscitate him, and a short time later, his heart stopped. He was only 29 years old. Number 4. Mercedes Cephas. Many of the stories on My 600 Pound Life have especially tragic beginnings, wherein the show star suffers from a horrendous childhood trauma, which is why they overeat in order to cope with their feelings. Mercedes of season 7 is definitely in that category, as she was raped by her father repeatedly starting at just 11 years old. He was also abusing her sisters, though she didn't know that at the time.
2.8 million adults per year that die from being overweight or obese globally. And indeed, being overweight and obese is the 5th risk for global death.
Years later, Mercedes weighed in at 773 pounds, but she was finally ready to start losing weight and had made an appointment with Dr. Now.
Obesity also affects respiratory disease, so we see increased rates of obstructive sleep apnea in our patient population.
She was also dependent on her young children for care and struggling with a painful case of severe lymphedema, and wanted to be able to live a normal life.
I know it's hard for her because she want to do for us and us not do it for her.
However, Mercedes was not able to do enough on her episode to qualify for weight loss surgery. By the time it was over, she had only lost 80 pounds and was always full of excuses of why it wasn't more than that. According to her Facebook profile, she's living in Cincinnati, which is a long way from Houston since she's likely off Dr. Now's program. Number 3. Angel Parrish. Now, this is one of the success stories on the show. Angel weighed in at 570 pounds when she first appeared on the show, riding in a wheelchair and relying on her boyfriend Donnie for everyday needs.
I feel like I am helpless every day, held prisoner in my body. It hurts. I hate it.
She said that her eating habits had been triggered by the trauma of placing a baby up for adoption at the age of 14. And the situation got worse when she later experienced postpartum depression after giving birth to a son with Donnie.
I am disgusted. I see myself as a oversized whale.
Sounds really bad, dude.
Now, Donnie went as far to say that she just stopped living after their son Andrew was born. He threatened that if she didn't get help, he'd have to leave her and take Andrew with him.
When you missed out on so much of life, it will make you just desperate enough to try anything to make a change.
Parrish rebounded in a big way by losing over 150 pounds through diet changes and then undergoing weight loss surgery with Dr. Now.
Because I've gotten so big, I cannot do anything independently now. I hate always having to ask for help.
Okay.
She adopted a fitness routine and ultimately dropped over 300 pounds.
I don't feel like who I'm supposed to be. But I am a human being. And I used to feel beautiful.
After losing the weight, she reflected, "It's been a long time since I could look at myself and see someone that I thought was beautiful." After slimming down, she was able to be a more active parent. Said, "I wake up and it's not to eat. It's to get Andrew ready for school." Number 2, Amber Ratchdy. Amber's transformation is one of the most jaw-dropping. When she first appeared on the show at the age of 23, she weighed 657 pounds and said she felt like a nasty, yucky monster.
I don't like being this person. I don't like being this size.
Her legs carried a great deal of her weight, and as a result, she said she couldn't stand for more than 30 minutes at a time.
I'm thankful for the support from my boyfriend. He is the kind of guy that prefers bigger women.
So when we lose weight, our gut hormones change in such a way as to increase our hunger hormones and to decrease our satiety hormones.
After losing 20 pounds in order to qualify for gastric bypass surgery with Dr. Now, she underwent the procedure and ended up getting down to 377 pounds within 1 year.
I'm almost to the point where going out isn't even possible for me anymore. When I do, it's only shopping for foods I want.
But she didn't just stop there. She ultimately lost over 400 pounds and kept it off, profiling her journey with glamorous pinup style selfies on Facebook and Instagram, where her profile once read, "I spent a long time not liking me, so I'm documenting moments where I feel pretty."
I do feel guilty about bringing the food, but at the same time, it's so hard to stop.
Amber also confessed on her episode of 600 Pound Life that her weight prevented her from being intimate with her then boyfriend. Now has a lot to celebrate when it comes to her personal life, as she got engaged in 2016 and has since tied the knot.
I mean, what else do you do when you love somebody, right?
Number 1, Laura Perez. In 2015, Laura Perez weighed 594 pounds and couldn't get through her day without the help from her family.
Obesity increases your risk of cardiovascular disease, including coronary artery disease, the risk of strokes, the risk of heart attacks.
As a native of San Antonio, Texas, she represents what the Centers for Disease Control's Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance is calling an epidemic of adults in Bexar County who are obese or diabetic. The county has reported that 71% of adults there are overweight and coping with either type 1 or type 2 diabetes.
Obesity is associated, of course, with a very high risk of type 2 diabetes, which leads to a real disease burden.
But Laura took on the challenge of shedding her weight by preparing and eating healthy meals and setting personal exercise goals.
The surgeon removed 80% of Perez's stomach during a gastronectomy, and she managed to shed an amazing 412 pounds.
Her biggest motivation was her desire to marry her common-law husband. She struggled with excess skin after her dramatic weight loss, but was hoping that he would propose to her after skin loss surgery.
Obesity is associated with an increased risk of gallstones, fatty liver, which can progress to fibrosis and cirrhosis.
Today, she maintains a Facebook page where she receives messages from and gives messages of support to her fans who have followed her since she was on the show. She shares makeup tips with fans and thanks